So we're back here, Lachie. It's been 12 months. You promised me, a couple of weeks, we'll get the material organised, and then that was it. Bang.
Yeah.
It was over.
Yeah. You fell ill, didn't you?
I had a child.
Yeah. Again, number 2. Yeah. How's that going?
Yeah, it's pretty hectic.
Good.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
Yeah, still busier at work though.
So just to confirm, this is our 3rd or 4th?
Yeah, I don't know. It was hard to keep up with the traction and the content, and I think that sort of led to our demise where we didn't know what to talk about, we didn't know what to say. And
Seems consistency is generally our biggest issue with things like this.
Yeah, I think the rest is A-okay.
Yeah.
But here we are, new premise, so hopefully that will invoke some inspiration and motivation.
And a fantastic new premise, actually.
Very, very, very nice building.
Warrnambool's newest, cafe, you'd say?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sort of borderline, sort of chic, industrial, very cutting edge for Warrnambool. So this is the, well, I don't know what the building's called. It's Alley. It's where Myers Planning Group's
Co-lab
situated.
space, like I said. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably
Co-lab?
it. Yeah. So, new resident. I don't know if you heard.
New what, sorry?
Resident.
There's a new resident.
Yeah, here.
James Cole. Yeah, Canterbury Creations.
Yes,
Yeah.
look out.
There you
Creative,
go.
don't get that wrong.
Oh, Canterbury Creative.
You'll hear about that too.
Yeah.
Had a wild launch party, which was good.
I did hear we missed it,
We
actually.
did.
Yeah.
Anyway, all part of it. So, so I suppose here we are, back after our long-awaited hiatus, and I wanted to touch on a couple of things that are irking people in the office to start with.
Yeah.
Uniforms.
Yeah, there's a bit hot topic at the moment, the uniforms.
And I'd probably put it out there to, the thousands of listers that could be generated.
Yeah.
Yellow ties.
Big no from me. Yeah.
Yellow, you don't like them?
Nah.
The candy?
Nah. I've been off the yellow ties since I walked in those doors, really.
I see. Then what are you? What do you wear? What do you do? What?
Well, you sort of gave me a bit of leeway there a couple of weeks ago, and I put some ideas across, and they were stamped on the head quite quickly.
Not by me.
I don't know. I just think we are a brand of Ray White yellow. If anyone doesn't know the Ray White brand, it is yellow. It's
very prominent.
Very prominent. It's very easy to recognise. But I just think the Ray White yellow ties need to step aside.
And what are you bringing in?
Well, we've got our suits, and we'll plug a little guy at the moment.
Your guy?
Yeah, my guy. Yep. Matt from the Suit Firm, who's dressed as quite suavely now. There's been a couple of guys on the office jump on that as well, and a couple of the females too have jumped on board too. So Tessa and Curly have both, looked into the suits a little bit further as well.
Well,
but
I thought the guys were looking good, and they said, "Well, we'll
jump on board."
Up.
Yeah. So I'm not too sure what sort of pathway we need to go down with the ties. But something does need to change with them.
Yeah, rightio.
What's your view as the? You reckon it's because we're easy to spot out at auctions. We're the only ones in suits at auctions
with yellow ties.
Yeah.
I think it's a case of as a brand, you've got to have a level of consistency at some point. Obviously, when you have people, there's always going to be variance because each person's different to the next.
Yeah.
But people resonate with consistency sometimes, so I think that's an important thing. And if you don't have that, it's just an association.
Yeah. Well, we could just always do Jason Twaits and Don the Chinos and the RMs, I guess, if you wanted to. Do you want to do that?
No.
Okay, we'll move away from that then.
Yeah, it just doesn't even work for Case. I don't know. I'm waiting for a good case study on it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're in spring, and I was racking my brain. I thought, you know what, July was big for sports.
Yeah.
I'm taking you down a path you're not ready for here.
Okay, yeah.
And I thought, can you think about all the global sports that were going on in July?
What was happening in July?
We'll start with the Ashes. That was pretty big.
Oh, yeah.
Very
the Ashes was it. I found myself, I was sitting up quite
Good
late at
time
night.
slot.
Yeah. You get the overs in before sort of bedtime.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. The Ashes is one.
The Tour de France.
Yes, I'm not an avid watcher of the Tour de France, but my mum is. She parks herself up in bed every night and watches it. SBS, loves it. Yep.
Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Then
Alcaraz, obviously winning his maiden Wimbledon championship.
Has he won the US? Did he win
He won the US.
No, didn't Djokovic won it this year?
Wimbledon?
Yeah. No, the US just recently.
Yeah.
And then there was the Women's World Cup.
Yes, yeah. Is that all in July?
Sort of July, might have moved into August. It comes around pretty quick.
What are we in?
And the footy. There's like 5 things going on.
Yeah. It's a fair bit of sport.
I was spoiled.
Yeah.
I thought this is great.
So where are you taking this?
I don't know, but anyway, now we're in finals fever. September, things are happening, and there's a lot to look forward to. And I've just felt like the last sort of 3 weeks, things start to come alive. You know, grass getting cut a little bit more.
I swear, I've always said this. I reckon
people are up a bit earlier.
They are. Warrnambool goes into like a little hibernation patch, I think, in the winter period.
Yeah.
But I remember the first drop of sun that we had. Was it last week or the week before?
Yeah.
And it was a different city.
Yeah.
Like the town comes alive, I think, once the sun comes out and the weather gets a little bit warmer. And it is great to see people down at the beach.
There's that many people
walking.
Doing the cold water in the morning.
Yeah, the cold water plunge. You go down to the kiosk and grab a coffee, don't you?
Yeah, I'm down there if I've been for a bit of a trundle.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
You haven't jumped in the water yet. Yeah. Maybe tomorrow. Nah,
maybe with the ankle.
Yeah, the ankles.
We won't go there.
Going for that.
Right, the next thing I had, I'm going to throw a couple of different things at you.
Okay.
You're a music buff. What are you listening to? What's your go-to at the moment? If you're for all those people that just, they're trying to find something new to listen to.
At the moment, Spotify's got a new thing out, actually.
Coming out from Kelly Recording Studios. What are you...
Spotify's got a new... it's not like it's like a function.
Yeah.
It's sort of like Discovery, but it's called DJX. Right. Have you seen it?
No.
Yeah, so if you just in the search bar hit DJ, and sometimes I find myself listening to quite the same music as well, which gets frustrating.
Yeah.
But if you search DJ in the top of your search bar, you'll actually have your own little personalised DJ, and it brings up sort of you could just sort of run it normally, and it'll come along with like different styles or people you're already listening to, and it does it in sort of little groups of 3 and 4 songs.
Yeah, right.
So something a little bit different.
And that changes regularly?
It just changes, all the time. So it must be like an AI thing, I guess, on there. But at the moment, I am probably listening to a little bit more, I'd say Montel Fish. You probably haven't heard of Montel
what sort of
Fish.
style are we going down there?
I wouldn't even know the style, to be honest.
Yeah.
But definitely worth a bit of a listen. Pretty easy listening. Montel Fish.
Oh, anyone looking for something new?
Pretend Lovers is probably the song of choice at the moment for me then.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Straight out of the repertoire, the vault. There you go. So that's the recommendation for this month. So that's really good. The next thing I'm going to throw at you, obviously, I find life's pretty busy. People seem to have less time than ever before.
Yeah.
I think that's with technology. We feel we're busier, but we've got less time. But technology's there to make time more efficient. And suddenly you find yourself on the go, and you're like, "Shit, what do I eat?"
Yeah.
What's your go-to meal?
Are you like breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
I don't care. Yeah, or go through all 3.
Breakfast, I'm always pretty routined with breakfast. I either have like scrambled eggs, or poached eggs, or I'll have like oats, protein oats with some berries in it. Okay. Yeah. I do have a new coffee machine at home that I'll whip up a coffee as well of the morning. Lunch, super hit and miss for me. Yeah. It's bloody tough. Yeah. Sometimes I'm not a massive big lunch person.
You have been waltzing in with the fish and chips from time to time.
You've never seen me with fish and chips in my life.
Our double flake.
But lunch for me is I like something light, something on the go.
Yeah.
So another little plug here. Today I just got the Gym Challenge meals they come from Mount Gambier.
Yes.
And I had for lunch the grilled barramundi.
Yeah, right.
With some might have been sweet potato mash and some green beans, and it was perfect. Yeah. Perfect to me out. Not too full, not too bloated. You know how you can go? You can get a pasta or something like that.
Yeah, it was pretty heavy.
And it feels like you're lugging around for the afternoon.
Siesta in the afternoon.
Yeah. And lately for dinner, I've actually been on the HelloFresh bandwagon.
So you're going to the Gym Challenge for lunch and a HelloFresh challenge?
Yeah, well, at the moment, I'll probably drop the HelloFresh because the Gym Challenge meal, I can get sort of 2 of them or a couple of them, which will last me the week. But the HelloFresh has been quite good because it's just got me back sort of into a routine of cooking, essentially. Now, yourself, a couple of young kids... grabbing around your ankles at night time.
Yes.
And
I'm
and obviously you come into the office and boast about you doing all the cooking.
Yes. I'm avid cook. Yeah. Experienced cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you have?
I'm very stock standard for breakfast, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. You like just toast and a coffee?
Peanut butter toast, oats and a coffee.
Yeah.
That's it. Mm-hmm. Very. I have been having the A1 Super Greens. as a bit of drink. All right.
Yeah, little Joe Rogan plug.
I made 6 months.
Tell you what, we get some good sponsors on here. We
got to get some good
there's
content.
been about 4 or 5 plugs. Yeah.
But I got it in January, and for 6 months I was like, this is a game changer. I've been sick, I've been crook.
Yep.
I got struck down for like 2 months, like crook, and I was like, right.
You ran out of it though, didn't you? Did you stop
but
taking
I'm still having it every morning, which is
Yeah.
good. Been trying a bit of turmeric powder actually to help for inflammation in the joints, which has been interesting. Lunch, I'm fruit smoothie.
You have fruit smoothie fine.
Yeah, blueberry, raspberry, strawberry, and banana.
Yep.
Yogurt.
Yep.
Chia seeds.
Mm-hmm.
Bit of water. Away we go. And then normally have the luxury. It might be a bit of zucchini slice or something like that.
Yeah. For lunch as well.
For lunch.
Yeah. Okay. And then dinner.
Maybe a couple of chocolate biscuits.
You've been boasting around dinner. You know, you have the filet mignon and the oysters. and everything.
The beef ragout. If only. No, we sort of rotate pretty. You know, veggies and meatballs, or there's a piece of salmon, and it's pretty stock standard in the Torpy residence. But
now, I guess to throw it over to you, what about sort of eating bad?
Me?
Yeah, like when's Fergus cheat meal come in? Because the only reason I ask you is that I did bust you in the Macca's drive-through lineup a couple of weeks ago.
Getting the hot cakes. Yeah, that's
because I'm shocking from Friday night. So as soon as I knock off work Friday night, I pretty much don't cook again.
Yeah.
No,
so I'm probably more grog.
Yeah.
So not lots of grog, but I might have 1 or 2 drinks on a Friday night.
Yeah.
And I might have it again Saturday and Sunday.
But you still sort of keep your eating routine pretty stock standard.
Takeaway once
Right. Yeah. Because Friday night ticks over, I'll normally shoot and get some Liebig for dinner.
Yeah.
Saturday mornings is always routinely I pop into Fishtails and see Tamara and the gang down there.
Yeah.
Another plug. Thank
egg
you.
And bacon.
Egg and bacon wrap or egg and bacon roll.
There you go.
Saturdays is tough for lunchtime because we're always on the go with opens and stuff.
Yeah.
Saturday afternoons, Saturday night, out for dinner, friends for dinner maybe, and then Sundays are sort of, you know, they can go anywhere. Yeah,
so I always find that I think if you have a level of consistency in what you're eating, that's going to help mood, activity, routine. And believe it or not, if you know what you're eating, it's a lot less stressful.
I think so. Because you're not thinking about what you have to cook.
Yeah. So the next thing I then wanted to throw over, obviously, part of your. I think this was brought around our colleague Harry Ponting. You know, he's got the wedding coming up, and he's sort of on the big fitness drive, and that's going really well, and maybe not so much now, but it's still going really well. And he's obviously jumped on board BFT.
He has, yes. Yeah.
And you've sort of, you're a pretty big ambassador, and then didn't show to the grand opening, but you were there a couple of days.
He missed the grand opening.
And had his hotcakes. And so that's your fitness routine. You'd be trying to go there, 3, 4, 5 times a week?
Pretty much. I was sort of doing 6 days a week.
So in the office, pretty
yeah, there's a couple of people in the office that are right around it as well, and we've tried to get a couple more too. But BFTs are probably quite a similar setup to something like F45, which I've done as well.
Yep.
The difference between the two is that the body fit training is probably a little bit more strength and conditioning based. So you find that there's a lot more dedicated weight days. So it's 3 and 3 realistically. So 3 of the cardio days might be high intensity interval training, some other bits and pieces, and then there's 3 days which are dedicated normally to upper body, lower body, and then there might be a bit of a core session in there. Are you
finding with doing that, would you prefer mornings or nights?
I'm a massive morning person in the gym. It's that old adaptation. Have you ever heard of the swallowing the frog or eating the frog?
No, go on.
So it's essentially if you've got something tough to do, you're better off getting it out of the way first thing in the morning.
Like the old phone call.
You like the old, like the phone call. So that's why I like the gym. Is obviously I really like doing the gym though. It keeps me a clear mind, sound mind, and sort of changes your mood, I think, throughout the day as well.
Yeah.
I find you're not as sluggish in the morning because you're up earlier, you get a good workout in, you get a good sweat in, and then you sort of hit the ground running. I'm a big believer in it. And you've sort of been doing a bit of running too.
Yeah, well, I'm not a fit person by no means, but obviously battling a little bit of an injury. So
we both are at the moment. Yeah.
You're one end of the body and I'm on the wrist, which is a bit of a pain. But so I'm just back to the 6K run probably 4 times a week.
Yeah.
And that's sort of keeping me.
Do you find that? Have you ever found that we've spoke about eating, we spoke about your diet. Do you find that if one of those is off, do you find an imbalance?
Yes, yeah, 100%. And
and can you rectify that pretty quickly? Are you
I know what I'm in.
Can you identify? You know when you're in it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think, and my first giveaway is it's like a midweek beer.
Yeah. Okay.
It just suddenly you feel like you've had a bit of a tougher day, or you're feeling a bit more exhausted. You glass of wine or a beer, and suddenly that spirals into every night.
Yeah.
It's not much, but you just sort of hang on. This is not my routine. This is not me. Or it's not going to get me to where I want to go. And I was listening to a podcast obviously not long ago, and one of the prominent real estate agents said there's 3 key elements in your life. Yeah. And he goes, I find if I'm doing 2 really well, one's suffering. Yeah. So obviously family is one, work's the other, and health's one. Yeah. So like your health is suddenly you're really, you're up at the gym every morning, you're going for a run every morning, get into work, you're working really hard, things are falling into place, but you're not spending time with your family. So one of 3, it's very hard to juggle the consistency across all 3. And then I probably had the conversation, I met with a lot of agents on Friday, and they said at any point if you feel that you're looking for balance, good luck, because you will not get it when you're trying if you're trying to grow your business or be successful in this, you're not going to have balance, because you can't simply be a successful real estate agent and be, working part-time hours or travelling most of the time. You've got to get to a point where maybe you're doing less sales and travelling more. But I found that very interesting, and I always think to be successful, you've got to sacrifice something. Yeah. We speak about it with football a lot. You won a flag, so you had to sacrifice certain things in that year as a collective to get to that point. Yeah. And I think a lot of our team probably did that in the last 12 months. We had the privilege of being the number 1 office. Yeah, we did. Which was great. Yeah. And I think that sacrifice started across the whole board. A lot of people dedicated a lot of time and a lot of sacrifice to being there on weekends with auctions, additional promotion, exposure for the seller. And obviously... It's hard, though, to settle, and this chat started off quite plain, now it's got to be a little bit deeper. I find it's hard with an industry like obviously real estate or even sales. You have that one really, really good year, and it's almost like, when do you get time to enjoy that? And it's really hard to sort of motivate yourself to saddle up again and go fully again, because at the moment things have probably changed a little bit in our office. Essentially, a lot of people may be dealing with like a little bit of burnout. Like there's some tired people. Like people might be chasing a bit of a holiday somewhere as well. It's hard to sort of keep that level of consistency across the board. Well, that's a skill, and you're never going to find... That's the discipline of it, isn't it? Yeah. And you may not find balance to get that, but you may find outlets to achieve that. So some people can be really regimented in booking long-term holidays, and I think there would be a lot of industries and a lot of people that have been going through those motions over the last 3 years, and I think now is the key time to really find out, have you got what it takes? Because if you're going to be successful or going to have a great business or going to provide a great service, it's easy to do it when things are easy, but as they tighten things, you've got to be prepared to have the good and the bad conversations. But at the same point, you've got to keep yourself in really good shape to have that, because it's really hard to do when you're feeling pretty ordinary. On a lighter note, we could go through all this for a long time, I think. We could not solve any problems, but talk about it. So I'm partial to a podcast. I feel that's great for my well-being and thinking. You? Yeah. I'm avid podcast listener when I get into bed, pretty much straight away. Anything that's... Nothing, it's sort of, I just rotate through the same ones pretty much to see who's got the new episodes coming out. Obviously, I listen to Joe Rogan quite a bit. Lex Friedman as well. Modern Wisdom. Just started on Chris Williams, and then probably in the last 6 weeks, and gone and listened to a few of his, and I find him quite insightful. I've always enjoyed Simon Sinek. He obviously speaks about a different mindset for leadership and finding your why. I found that quite good. And The Diary of a CEO as well. Yes. But also don't mind a bit of a true murder one. I've been listening to Case Files. Yeah, right. There's the guy's voice on it. He's Australian. It's a very soothing voice. But sometimes I get too into like what's going on there. Yeah. And you want to listen to sort of what happens. Yeah. And then I'm up. And I'm tangled up in this murder podcast. So 11 o'clock at night, you're solving crimes in bed. Yeah. Trying to figure out who done it. Yeah. And I should be asleep instead. There you go. Yeah. But if that I don't mind that sort of thing. I think it's it's probably replaced.
There is a lot of people that listen to the True podcast, like the True Crime ones.
Yeah, well,
they love it.
My wife Bianca, she's avid on missing persons files now.
So if you ever go missing,
she'll have all the reasons how to do it really well.
Yeah.
So it's funny. I always find the documentaries associated with it quite interesting.
Yeah, they are good.
It's just very how people do it. It's obviously it's very interesting. So, got a couple of quiz questions I wanted to fire at you.
Okay.
There's no theme whatsoever.
They're just random questions.
Just to test your general knowledge. You think you're pretty knowledgeable.
I am pretty good at general knowledge, actually.
You feel like you're a bit of a journeyman, and
definitely not a journeyman. I haven't been far, but
so.
So is this like our 5 quiz? Is this going to be a regular feature on?
Yeah, I will.
The podcast?
I've got 6 questions.
I thought it was 5.
Number 6.
Okay, right.
And some of them are 2-part answers.
2-part answers.
So it's 40 questions.
Because we do the quiz and the standard on a weekly or daily, really.
Go
on.
Right. How many interest rates have we seen in the last 18 months?
That's I should probably know this. Well, they started in April of last year. Did they? Was it April or May of last year?
No lifelines.
Okay. I reckon they started in April last year. I want to say 15.
I need an egg timer here.
15.
Not quite.
No?
Too many.
Too many?
11.
11. Yeah.
We haven't had 2. We haven't had.
Oh, there's been 2 holds, hasn't there? And then there was December hold last year.
I'm trying to think. Did we have a hold? Have we had June, July? No, July, August, September holds.
July, August, September.
So we've had 3 holds.
3 holds. Yeah.
50 years ago, the year was 1973.
That's quick maths. Well done.
It was 60 years ago. 60 years ago.
83,
50.
93, 03, 13, 23, 50 years ago.
What was the best-selling album? You're a music buff. And who by?
Worldwide or Australia?
Worldwide.
1973. Can I have a hint? What can you give me the is it a band or an artist?
It's a band.
It's a band?
Yeah.
Okay. Are they American based?
Actually, I'm not sure.
UK.
They're one of those 2.
They're America or the UK. You don't know.
So 95% of where bands come from.
Okay. Do they still play today?
Possibly.
Are they an all boy band?
Probably.
Is there 4? Do you know how many parties are in it?
No, I don't. This is my quiz.
Is it the Beatles, the Stones?
No. Give you 2 more guesses.
Okay. Can you give me some hints? I'm going to need something here. Pink Floyd. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Name of the album?
Another Brick in the Wall?
That's a song.
Yeah. Dark Side of the Moon?
Dark Side of the Moon, we got there.
There you go.
Hint was too good. 50 years ago. Who won the VFL Premiership?
1973. Well, the 80s were all about Geelong and Hawthorn. 73.
Prominent,
Collingwood?
No. They didn't win one.
No?
They won one maybe in the 50s or 60s and didn't win again until 1990.
Yeah.
It's not Collingwood.
It's not Carlton.
They lost.
They lost to Richmond.
Yeah.
Have you seen on social media at the moment, do you look into like numerology or anything like that?
No.
So they had this thing with Carlton. You know how Carlton are in the finals?
Oh, no.
Yeah. So it was every time that Argentina has won the World Cup,
Yep.
Carlton also
Have one in that.
have won in that same year. It's happened 3 times before.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and they won the World Cup this year, Argentina.
Yep.
And
So anytime Australia hasn't won the World Cup,
yeah,
neither St Kilda.
yeah, neither. Let's not talk about the Saints. Let's not.
Melbourne.
Wait, what was that? What was the last question? Oh, yeah, Richmond. Yeah. Cool. Got that one right.
So that means. Okay. Anyway, Melbourne recently cancelled
The Commonwealth Games.
in 2026.
Yeah.
Which country has crossed their bid out for 2030? which had technically won it. So what other countries followed Melbourne's and Australia's for 2030? What other Commonwealth country?
Canada?
Canada.
Yeah.
They said no thanks.
Yeah. I'm doing quite good here. It's pretty good.
Who's the president of Canada? Or Prime Minister, I should say. No, it's not even on my list. I just wanted to put you back in your box.
No, it's not. I would know that.
Would you?
It's, what's his name? It starts with T. It's something Jordan, something like that. Trudeau?
Can we get a check on that, please?
Yeah, someone Trudeau.
In 2019 was the previous Women's World Cup to this year.
Yeah.
Who won it?
Brazil.
The Women's World Cup in 2019, you're locking in Brazil.
Or the US of A. One of the two.
One of them played and defeated France.
The USA.
Good job.
Yeah. Jordan Trudeau is the current Prime Minister of... Can't you just look it up?
In 2022, where was the World Cup for the men's competition?
In when?
In 2022. And who won it?
Well, Argentina.
Okay.
Yeah. They won it.
Where?
Justin Trudeau. I was close. I said Jordan. Argentina won it. And it was held in...
Very wealthy country, very small population, average temperature of probably 40 degrees.
Monaco? No?
Qatar.
Oh, was too.
Yeah.
Well, didn't Australia miss the bid for that? Like, wasn't that the one that there was a massive uproar that there was all the...
a lot of conjecture about how they bought the bid.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Frank Separate.
Yeah.
There was
a lot of bribing going on.
Yeah, it's a good little documentary on Netflix actually about it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's very interesting. Anyway, that wraps up my 7-part quiz.
Mm-hmm.
So next one's on you to prepare one next time.
Yeah, I'll bring the quiz questions.
Pretty good answers, I'd say.
What did I get? Would have got 5 out of 7.
Yeah, and then a
couple of hints in there.
0.5 on the Canadian Prime Minister, which was great. So
we'll take
anyway,
that.
That's it. We're done and dusted for today. I'll see you in 12 months' time.
Have you got a podcast name? Are we sticking with Inside 328?
I don't know. I'm open.
There was a couple of plugs in there, I think, for the local town. So I don't mind it.
For
Inside 3280.
Yeah, well, let's roll with it if it works.
Sounds good.
The annual podcast, here we come.
See you next month.